So this video is all about single pistols and which is the best single pistol that you should be using inside Warzone if you want to build a ghost class setup. If you enjoy weapon stat breakdowns, weapon comparisons and overall tips and tricks for Warzone, don't forget to subscribe to the channel as we're trying to reach our goal of 10,000 subscribers, and also click that link in the description down below and subscribe to our second channel as well. We do post extra content over there. So like I said, this video is going to be talking all about single pistols, and the main focus for that is because you can actually ADS with a single pistol and it allows you to get a little bit more range out of your pistol if you are going to be using a ghost class. You do want to have something that's a bit more versatile than akimbo weapons. Now, akimbo weapons do have great time to kills up close, so if you're kind of having like a shotgun replacement, for example, then akimbo pistols are a great option. But if you want something that's like an SMG replacement, then the best three guns are going to be the AMPs, the SYKOVs, and the DIAMATTI pistols. Now, going over the class setups that we use to compare all the stats for this video. So first of all, for the AMP, we use the agency suppressor, the task force barrel, the Tiger Team spotlight, the 25 round mags, and the serpent wrap. You could change either the serpent wrap or the Tiger Team spotlight for an optic if you prefer. The best one is definitely the microflex LED. But we did use a very similar class setup for the DIAMATTI pistol. So again, agency suppressor, task force barrel, Tiger Team spotlight, the 30 round mags, which is the largest, and the serpent wrap as well. And the Tiger Team spotlight gives you a few bonuses: bullet velocity, strafe speed, and effective damage range. And you do want that strafe speed on a sidearm pistol because it doesn't do nearly as much damage as an SMG, so you want to dodge bullets as much as you can. And that is also the same reason we added on the Tiger Team spotlight. And then lastly, for the SYKOV pistol, we use the mono suppressor, the full auto barrel, the tac laser, the heavyweight double action trigger, because it actually gives you a faster aim down sight speed and a faster sprint to fire, which is going to be very important because we're running this like an SMG almost, not akimbo weapons. And the 80 round drum mags, just because if you've got 80 rounds there, definitely use it. So the first thing I actually want to go over is the overall handling stats for all three of these pistols. So on screen just now, you will see the stats for all three of the weapons. We've got the AMP on the left, the SYKOV down the middle, and the DIAMATTI's on the very right. And again, just keep in mind this is for a single pistol. So the rate of fire for the AMP is 681 rounds per minute. The rate of fire for the SYKOV is 894. And the DIAMATTI is the slowest because it is a burst fire weapon and it does have burst delays at 562 rounds per minute. The ADS times for all three of these pistols, from what we were able to measure, were pretty much exactly the same. And then the magazine size is a pretty much no-brainer on the SYKOV. It's got 80 rounds in a single magazine, which is absolutely insane. But the AMP does have a 25 round mag, and the DIAMATTI does have a 30 round mag. Now, when it comes to reload times, the AMP does reload just at the same time as the DIAMATTI pistols at 1.6 seconds, and the SYKOVs do reload slower at 1.8 seconds. Now, the last stat here is the firing strafe speed. So this is whilst you're strafing and firing at the exact same time. And the DIAMATTI pistols actually come out the absolute quickest when it comes to the firing strafe speed. The AMP is not too far behind at all at 3.23 meters per second. And the SYKOVs did get a nerf, and that is why they are the slowest at 2.71. But this is also due to the fact you've got that 80 round drum mags on there as well. So overall movement with Modern Warfare weapons are not the best. So you might think the movement stats are not all that important, and that is definitely true when it comes to akimbo pistols. But when it comes to single pistols, you do want to be dodging bullets as much as you possibly can, because you're not going to be outputting as much damage as an SMG or an assault rifle or a shotgun, for example. So you definitely want to dodge as many bullets as you can as well. And that is why I tend to stay away from the SYKOV pistols, in my opinion. I just prefer to have that slightly faster movement. But the next thing I want to take a look into is the overall damage profiles for all of these guns and the time to kill chart. So on screen just now, you will see the damage for the AMP, the SYKOV, the DIAMATTI pistols. And this is again for a single weapon. So if you're using the AMP-63, the headshot damage is 42 up close, and then the chest shot damage is 36 up close. The damage for the SYKOVs is pretty much 31 all round, doesn't matter where you land your shots. The DIAMATTI does output the most damage at 64 to the head and 40 to the chest. Now, what this means for our time to kill values is that the time to kill with the AMP is about 500 and 30 milliseconds, which is about the same as the SYKOV actually. People think that the SYKOV kills way quicker, but it doesn't actually. The SYKOV kills in about the same time as the AMP, and then the Diamatti pistols kill in 640 milliseconds, which is still relatively quick compared to some of the other guns in the game, but it's not the fastest. But then when we take a look at one headshot mixed in with chest shots, the AMP doesn't change the time to kill with it, and neither does the SYKOV, but the Diamatti does reduce the time to kill when you hit a single headshot. If you're landing one headshot with a Diamatti pistol, you're more than likely either landing 2 or 3, which is going to delete your enemies super quick. But with the other 2 weapons, you do need to land multiple headshots to actually reduce the time to kill. So the next quick thing I actually want to show you regarding time to kills is actually time to kill chart comparing the Bullfrog, the Milano, the Diamatti, the SYKOV, and the PPSH. So we've got the Milano in the pink line, the Bullfrog in orange, Diamatti in cyan, SYKOV in green, and PPSH in blue. And as you can see, the PPSH does kill the quickest. Then we actually have the SYKOV pistol, which is the next quickest TTK out of all of the SMGs that we have on this list. Then we've got the Bullfrog, which is the orange line. Then we actually have the Diamatti pistol. And then we have, lastly, the Milano. This is why the Milano is so bad, is just because it has a worse time to kill than some of the pistols in the game. And if you land a couple of headshots with a Diamatti, you do get the same time to kill as the SYKOVs and the AMP, so you're probably better off with those. And as you can see, the PPSH as well as the Bullfrog are some of the fastest killing SMGs in the game, and you can actually get a TTK that is just close to that with a sidearm pistol. And the last and final thing I want to show you is a recoil chart comparing all 3 of the weapons that we're talking about. So the SYKOVs, the Diamattis, as well as the AMP pistol. So on screen just now, you will see that recoil chart, which is taken at a 10-meter distance. This is the maximum range I think you should be using any of these pistols at. 10 meters is quite far for a sidearm. And what you can see here is the AMP pretty much has just vertical recoil. It does bounce side to side a little bit. Then we've got the Diamatti pistol, which is pretty much a burst pistol, but it bursts quite close together. So it's probably, in my opinion, one of the more accurate out of the bunch of the pistols here. And then lastly, we have the SYKOV pistols, which does have a lot of side-to-side bounce with its recoil, but it does go upwards and to the right, whereas the AMP does go upwards and to the left. When it comes to the easiest to control pistol out of all 3 of these, I do think the AMP and the Diamattis are probably the easier ones to control, whereas the SYKOV is a bit difficult. But within 10 meters, this shouldn't really make too much of a difference. You should be able to land shots pretty easily with any 3 of these guns within a 10-meter distance. It's only once you try to go past 10 meters and shoot enemies at a longer distance that you'll start noticing this recoil. There is a few adjustments I think they can make to the AMP to make it a bit more viable in Warzone. First of all, I think they should change the 25 round mag to a 35 round mag. And then also, I do think they should lower the recoil on the pistol just a little bit to make it a bit better. I don't think they should change the damage profile or anything like that. But like I said, there is a place for all 3 of these sidearm pistols in this game. The Diamatti is my absolute favourite. I think it outputs a good amount of damage if you do land a couple of headshots, but you also get the Cold War movement. If you do prefer Cold War movement and you want a fully automatic weapon, then the AMP is a great option too. And then lastly, if you do just want to have an SMG replacement, then the SYKOV is a good option. It doesn't move nearly as quick as the other 2 options from Cold War, of course, because Cold War guns do have better movement overall. But you do get an 80 round mag, which is insane. It is fully automatic, so it's going to be easier to use. And you can switch out one of the attachments for an optic to make it a little bit easier to hit your shots at a distance. To give you my personal favourite, I personally prefer the Diamatti pistol. I do think you get a good balance between movement, a good sized magazine, as well as if you land your headshots, you can get a pretty quick TTK as well. But you can't go wrong with the other 2 options as well. If you enjoyed this video and learned something new, don't forget to subscribe to the channel as we try to reach our goal of 10,000 subscribers, and also click that link in the description down below and subscribe to our second channel, and thank you very much for watching.